Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again. This is still BVI Channel 1, and I'm one-on-one with the president of Alibo Development Foundation, talking about Professor Uzodimma. Let us talk about the contemporary situation of what is happening in Nigeria today as it affects Ndibo and the 2023 general election. I'm pleased to have him once again, a father to Ndibo. Sir, it's a pleasure to have you on our program again.
Thank you, Chinedu.
So far, so good. It's been a while. Yeah. Ndibo, they've been yearning to hear your voice again. Yeah. With all the confusion in Nigeria today, in the political situations and all of that, where is ADF in all of this?
Well, Chinedu, you can answer that question because you've been part of ADF.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been consistent since ADF came on board. And we have a history, we have a background. And you also know the kind of people, leadership that populate ADF from different walks of life. Some of the founding spiritual fathers of Alibo are in ADF. And I'm happy we had an interview with one of our fathers. Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the greatest Igbo religious and leaders of Alibo. We've been very consistent. Many of us are familiar with the history of this country, familiar with the place of the Igbo man. And at a point, we became convinced that all we need is to get the Igbo nation stand firm on its 2 feet and be able to understand what is going on, be able to reciprocate the goodwill of our neighbors, and be able to meet the challenges coming from those that don't wish not only the Igbo nation well, but the Nigeria well. You know. So we've been very consistent in our programs, both championing our cause internally and externally, and reaching out to various dimensions of Igbo predicament. One area is development, you know. Yeah. At one point in our history, Alibo was the fastest economic growing part of Africa. What is regarded as the phased development programs in Africa came from Alibo, the time of Zik and Opera era. Of course, you also know that Malaysia today, the richest source of income of Malaysia is palm oil and palm kernel. Yeah. Much, much more than petroleum oil in Nigeria. And where did this originate from? Alibo, you know. So our desire has always been to go back to that foundation, to move our people forward, you know, and also to make sure we also live in a democratic environment with our neighbors. So I think that is what has been going on. And luckily, there are some silver linings at this moment. Okay. And we must take advantage of it.
The silver linings, you're talking about the political situation in Nigeria today. Where did it put Ndibo as a people today in Nigeria?
Well, I think the most encouraging and fascinating aspect of the program is what ADF has stated, that the songs of freedom is now raging in every part of Nigeria. Everybody wants to be free. Everybody is realizing that some people are holding us back, and we want to be free. So the Igbos are not alone in that struggle for freedom, regional autonomy, and so on and so forth. Okay. So the other interesting thing is that our neighbors have come to realize that a great injustice has been done to the Igbos along the line. A country we've spent a lot helping to build. And of course, our people all over the place, building different parts of this thing. We've never been allowed to provide leadership to play a role like other things. And luckily, our neighbors are realizing that we need that opportunity. And not only that, God has somehow brought up a young man. I call him a young man when I compare him with the old elders who want to rule Nigeria. Somebody has come up like a God-given gift to Nigeria, not just Alibo. And I think we have to take advantage of that.
Okay. Now, what's the position of ADF on the candidacy of Peter Obi and Dati? Are you supporting this candidacy because he's an Igbo man?
Not really. We've had a long history of interaction with Peter Obi. We know Peter Obi more than any other group in Nigeria, even more than those working with him now. Because it's a long time we started following him when we had our first industrial tour of Alibo.
The Alibo Development Foundation, ADF, was established following the International Colloquium on the Igbo question in Nigeria held in Enugu from the 11th of March to the 14th of March 2014. The ADF is a registered non-governmental organization that brings together the Igbo intelligentsia, the elders, the clergy, patriotic public figures, women, and the youth, both at home and abroad, with the main objective of protecting and ensuring the survival of Ndi Igbo, revitalizing the spirit of our culture and civilization, and focusing on the rebuilding and development of the Igbo nation in order to make her a major player in world affairs. In pursuit of the central goal of the rebuilding and development of Igbo, ADF set up a committee on business and investment, promoted two consultative fora of Igbo business leaders in Lagos and Abuja, organized the first conference of Igbo business leaders at Enugu, and launched the Igbo Think Home philosophy, or the Akurolo movement. The Igbo Think Home philosophy or Akurolo movement is one that encourages every Igbo man to invest his ideas, his goals, and part of all of his businesses within the Igbo geographical enclave for the sole reason of helping in the rapid development of Igbo land. It is surmised that the Igbo investment in other parts of Nigeria is more than 700% of the investment in Igbo land. Assuming 50% of these investments are brought to Igbo land, the Igbo shall be on their way to becoming the Japan of Africa. During the conference of the World Igbo Congress (WIC) held at Ascot Resort Hotel, Enugu, on May 27, 2017, the ADF delegates listened to His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, as he told the story of how he encouraged and promoted the growth of indigenous businesses in the state by providing financial lifelines to the investors, placing order for their products and paying in advance during his tenure as the executive governor of Anambra State. The investors and investments involved are some of the big names in the investment and development of not only Anambra State but also of Igbo as well as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Among them are Innocent and Chikasen.
I'm lucky by having His Excellency Peter Obi on seat during the time the factory was commissioned. After Peter Obi visited the factory, he was eager and feel that this factory is a good thing for Nigeria and give me a heavy support. Number one is that he gave me an order of buses to supply all the secondary school in Anambra State. The order took me about 5 months to produce, and he paid me in advance to make sure I produce it for him. After some time, he told me he need pickup. I don't even have the pickup on ground. He asked me, can I produce pickup? That time I haven't started pickup. I tell him, as far as he need it, I will do it. Because of that thing, I start pickup. And he buy pickup for all the securities, all the local government, all the town union in this country, in this state. And that order he gave me motivate me a lot, give me encouragement, shows me that this is a good thing I'm doing, and I supply all the order, and he was very happy. It was commissioned. After that, he see that the market is not more. He called me again. He want to give all the traditional leaders. Can I be able to produce SUV for him? I said no problem. This is manufacturing. I will try. Then because of him, I produce SUV for all the traditional leaders in Anambra State. And the beauty of it is that he paid me in advance to make sure I have capital to do it. And that is why this factory grew easily. If you come to, yes, during that time, if you go to Anambra State, you find out my motor is everywhere in Anambra State. That thing he did is why my factory stabilized. My other thing he do I don't think this party will reach this stage today.
Yeah. Well, at that time, some people brought a notice what this young man had done when he was governor. Although I knew a bit of him when he was governor, because he was my student at Institute Council. But during our industrial tour of Alibo, we saw a lot that amazed us, right from Obo, where the boy is good. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Called us and said, brothers, thank this young man for me. The car you see there was bought for me by him when he was governor of Anambra State. And the same trip we came to Newi, our great man, industrialist, took us around the massive industrial estate of his. I'm talking of Enosin. And when we sat down to chat, he said, brothers, thank Peter Obi for me. Without him, he wouldn't have seen what he saw today. And from there, we went to Onitsha, the industrial area. And we met one of the biggest furniture manufacturing companies there. And because of it, the man said to us, brothers, thank Peter Obi for me. Because without him, you wouldn't have seen what you have here. He gave me contract to supply chairs, tables, everything for the ministries, and so on and so forth. So we've known him, and that was why even when Atiku nominated him to run with him, A.D.F. joined in Igbo. He said, we'll just give him a chance, because he has a broad mind, you know, and anywhere he is, the Igbos will not be cheated. But as we went on also, we found that this young man is not just a good Igbo man, he is a good Nigerian. We've done a lot of research. Of course, you know, we published a book on him, Peter Obi, the challenges of good governance and leadership in Nigeria, the Peter Obi factor. We found out that he's extended his attention and commitment to other parts of Nigeria. One of the ones that surprised us was when there was mighty flood between Anambra and Benue State.
Benue State,
you know, where many people from Benue State had to relocate to Anambra.
Including that of Kogi self.
Kogi, not Benue State.
Kogi.
Every Nigerian is important to us. This flood is in Nigeria. And if anybody, no matter the state you're coming from, is here, we will look after you. So we'll make sure that they're looked after. I hope they feed you well. We'll make sure you're giving food. We'll make sure you're giving medications and everything. And when you finish, we'll help you to go back to wherever you're coming from.
And Peter Obi took care of them there. And when they went back, he went there to help them settle down. We also know that Peter Obi is also a familiar face in many parts of northern Nigeria in terms of economic and other forms of development. And we're also happy to hear that even northerners who lived and worked in Alibo have all come to attest what a good man he is, including Muslims. No, remember, Peter is a Christian. I hear the Muslims say that he visits them during their fasting period and brings food to them. You know, so it is a unique phenomenon. You know, and that is why the whole world is rooting for him. All parts of Nigeria are rooting for him, not because he's an Igbo man, but because he's the right man for the moment.
So now that things are this way, and we are looking at a situation in the southeast, threatening the southeasterners, to trying to intimidate southeasterners with insecurity, and especially bordering around elections, election period. Does it give you concern? And what's your word for Nibo on that?
Well, it gives me concern, but I do know it is a problem that can be handled if our people are organized. It is a challenge, first and foremost, with our town unions. It's a challenge with our traditional rulers. It's also a challenge with our ex-servicemen. So yes, intelligence officers, because while these things are happening, if we set up effective intelligence monitoring unit, we'll be able to know who is who and who is doing what. We'll be able to anticipate their plans. We'll be able to abort their plans, you know.
Do you think that this insecurity situation is politicized? Some people are saying that there are some influence of political interest in this insecurity ravaging Igbo land today to diminish the votes that may be happening or coming from the southeast.
Of course, that is also that is to be expected. It's happening, and there are so many interests in the insecurity thing. There are so many interests, you know. But coming to election, and this is where we have to keep our weather eyes open. This is where I think the massive movement raging now around Peter Obi should be on the alert. And this is why we should also warn all these evil forces who think they can abort the election, who think they can abort Peter Obi's chances, who think that they can do anything to prevent this change God is now bringing to Nigeria. I think they should be very careful, because the forces that are stirred is so massive. You know, the old order can no longer deal with it. And that is true. And INEC should be very careful. INEC should know that they don't have any godfather that will protect them when the forces that are set now move against any evil plan or any magomago they want to do. INEC should be very careful.
You're saying this, honestly, people believe that this obedient movement is a spiritual thing.
It is. It is.
All right. I really appreciate you for giving us your time, Prof. And we hope to always have you and your fatherly advice to our people. We'd like to have that very quickly to the young people out there, especially the young people, because the old brigade are all, you know, moving out. The young ones, what's the message for them in Igbo land to start with?
First and foremost, it's not just a message from Uzodimma Nwala and A.D.F. It's a message from the spiritual fathers of the Igbo nation today. I'm happy we had occasion to interview one of them before me. A man who is a great inspiration to us. A man we all respect. And we all are inspired by his background and his commitment, you know. And there are others like him in A.D.F. We have Danny Kwemwas. We have the Obinas. We also have the Bio Furniture and many others, you know. We have also Onubog, who is the chairman of our board of trustees, you know. So we have many of them, and we all have a common message, you know. Common message is that time has come when the Igbo nation should stand up and be recognized as one of the foundational nationalities in the world today. You know. And that Igbo nation should also stand up and acknowledge that this is a different time. Acknowledge the goodwill of our neighbors, the goodwill of the Obasanjos, goodwill of the Paradebanjos, the goodwill of even the Danjumas and so on and so forth, the goodwill of the Otoms, you know, and many of them that are now stretching their hand and saying this nationality is a nationality. I think that popular saying by the Igbo, you know, of the Igbo nation, you know, Ojemba and Wilo, that they have lived with us all over the place. They don't make trouble. They have helped to develop the other areas.
Yes.
And they have a lot to contribute if there is peace and concourse and cordiality in Nigeria. I think that's what these leaders are now saying, that the nation is losing a lot by the kind of attitude they have been posed to the Igbo nation. We should embrace the Igbo people. They're very people of great hospitality and so on and so forth. I think that is the message of the moment.
Thank you so much, sir. And you said something very, very, very unique, talking about the Igbo being an agent of development out there. driving development wherever they go, but it gives ADF concern to see Igbo land being backward and left behind. That is why the vision for ADF is paramount, and you as an Igbo man should key into it, because it is driven by men that has passion for the liberation and emancipation and sustenance of Igbo land. And that man, I'm honored to be with you over the years. I really appreciate you, sir, for what you've done so far. As we continue in this project, we will always identify with ADF.
Thank you, sir.
And people like you.
Thank you. Please keep it up. You are doing a lot, a great day for our people.
Thank you,
for
sir.
the struggle.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that is it. That is where I will be cutting the curtain on this program one-on-one with our father, the president of Alibo Development Foundation. Stay tuned on this platform. Keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. Drop your comments on the comment section. We'll continue the discussion from there. Bye-bye for now.